Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you my everyday foundation full face of makeup routine. I did already go ahead and moisturize, prime, all of that stuff is already done on my face. If you want to know exactly how I moisturize and prep and prime my skin for foundation, check out my last video. I will link it down below for you. What we're going to do now is go straight on in with foundation, and for that I mix these two right here. This is my absolute favorite drugstore foundation ever of life. It has been my ride or die basically since the first time I used it. And then this one came in from Wet n Wild and stole its place because this stuff is amazing and it's only $6. This is, I believe, $12. But I mix them together because I love the finish that both of them give me, and I'm able to really make my perfect shade. Use about that much of the Infallible, and then we're going to go in with the Wet n Wild foundation. What I love is that the wand on here is like a little spatula, so I can use that to mix my two colors together. And that's what I have. You can see it's going to match my skin pretty well. I'm always so red on camera, good lord. Just the lights. It's all the lights. Okay, so this is the L'Oreal Beauty Sponge. This is my favorite to use because it is absolutely amazing. I'm a beauty sponge girl. I don't like using brushes. I have used before the original Beauty Blender and it is amazing. Absolutely it is. But it's $20. I'm not going to spend $20 every couple weeks on a sponge. I'm just not going to do that. So this guy is amazing. I even think it's better than the other one. And of course, just working in patting motions, I'm going to put this all over my face and make sure to blend it down my neck so that we are one even color. Alright guys, something that's really important in my opinion is to let your foundation sit and sink into your skin for a couple minutes before you go in with anything else. This is how you're able to allow your foundation to do any kind of oxidizing. It's allowed to sink and settle everywhere that it wants to. It's got enough time to really warm up and develop into its full effect. So I'm going to wait a couple minutes and I'll be right back. It's now time for concealer. I've gone back to using the Age Rewind from Maybelline. I absolutely love this stuff. It's nice and thick. It's full coverage, but you can blend it out so it doesn't look so crazy intense. And I do use the color Neutralizer. What I'm going to do is get my powder ready. I still use the Flower Beauty powder for setting all of my concealer area because I think this works the best. You just want to make sure that you hold down the top here because I've had this accident before. This thing comes off very easily, so just make sure that you are careful with that. I still don't use a ton of product, so just like that. I always do the middle sections of my face first because I want to make sure as soon as this is done, I'm setting it. This can kind of sit there and I don't have to worry about it creasing or anything like that. So blend it out with my beauty sponge. And then for the under eye section, I don't use a lot either, just about that much. And you want to make sure that the product that's going onto your face is actual wet product. If you're using dry or old concealer on the sponge, it's going to crease and look really bad. So make sure there's actual fresh product that you're using on your face. Blend it out, and then I'm going to set it immediately with my Flower Beauty powder. Okay, and I don't set with a ton of powder, just about that much. And I also really make sure that I'm pressing this into my skin. I'm not leaving an excess amount on. I'm not baking. That's way too drying for my under eyes. So I make sure that I'm really pressing them together, making them one, so that the powder is sinking in and becoming one with the concealer. Okay, so that is that. I am somebody who always sets my entire face as well. If you have extremely dry skin, I definitely would recommend not doing this. I like to set with the NYX No Filter powder, and I don't use a lot. I use a nice big fluffy brush. Just really get some on here and then lightly go in and set the rest of my face. Okay, so that is my full face set. I'm just going to grab a big duo fiber brush. This one is from Sonia Kashuk, and just blend all of this together very lightly to make sure that there's no excess powders on my face. That's why I love duo fiber brushes, because they can go in and blend everything together, but they're not really harsh, so you don't have to worry about anything moving when you use these. Okay, so that is my foundation done. This is what I look like. I look super just one-dimensional, not loving this. So what I'm going to do now is bronze up my face. I use the KVD Shade Light palette. I'm back to loving this guy. I use this shade right here to bronze up my face. Now, a cheaper alternative to this palette is the NYX Contour Kit. I do have a full video where I use both of them, one on one side of my face and the other on the other side of my face, and you can see they're basically identical palettes on the face. And that one is a lot cheaper. The next one is a lot cheaper. You also get more product with it. So if you're looking for a great alternative to this one where you don't have to spend quite as much money, definitely check out the NYX one. I just use a nice big brush. This one is from Sigma and it's their large powder brush F30. I use this to bronze up my face. And again, just go into that middle shade. I don't use a ton of product. What I'm going to do is press this into the skin. I find that my bronzing looks so much more clean and neat, and I don't have to worry about any product underneath moving around. So for the most part on my face, I will from now on always go in with stippling motions. There are a couple exceptions that I'll talk about when I get there, but if I were to go in with the rubbing, way too much product is moving around. So I'm going to go ahead and bronze up my skin. Don't worry, I know this looks crazy right now. We are going to blend that out. For the cheeks, I like to keep this upwards. I don't want to bring the bronzing too far down. That's not going to make my face look right. So keep it nice and high here. Okay, and then you want to just make sure that you're always bronzing in the big 8. Okay, once that is on, I'm going to take the same big dual fiber brush from Sonia Kashuk and really blend all of these lines together. This is one of those times where I don't mind going in with those swiping motions because, again, these brushes are nice and lightweight, so they're not going to be moving around product, but they're going to go in and blend and buff all of those harsh lines away. So I definitely recommend doing this, okay? So now that my face is nice and bronzed up, I need to go in with some blush. For blush, I use from Milani. It is their Romantic Rose, and it's super cute. It's in the shape of a rose. I absolutely love Milani products. I think they're amazing. I've been using them ever since that brand first launched at CVS, but what was it called before it was CVS? Was it Long's Drugs? Goodness. I've been using this since CVS was Long's, okay? So I'm going to go in with a Sigma Small Contour. It's an F05 brush. I don't know how you would use this to contour. It's way too big in my opinion. I used to use a Morphe E4 brush for my blush because I liked to put it kind of all in this section right here, but I don't do that anymore. I like to focus my blush color just on the apples of my cheeks right here. And this brush allows me to make sure that it's nice and concentrated in that area. And don't worry, everything's gonna get cleaned up. What I'm gonna do now is go in with highlight. These two products together are the best. This is the Maybelline Master Chrome. It's in 100 Molten Gold. And I do use a tapered highlighting brush. It's the F35 from Sigma to apply this. Now I'm gonna swirl this in here, make sure my brush is nice and saturated. And then what I do for a crazy intense highlight is spray some MAC Fix Plus on my brush. And I'm going to keep this all kind of right here. Now, if this is too intense for you, if you're not looking for such a crazy in-your-face highlight, you can still use this product. Just don't use the MAC Fix Plus because that is what really makes it bam, pop, be in your face, and shine like crazy. So if you think this is too much, then just don't spray the MAC Fix Plus. And again, I am going to go in and make sure everything looks good in just a second, but I mean, look at that. Look at that. For my Cupid's bow, I actually go in with a different brush. It's the Morphe M218, and I go into the highlight by itself. I don't spray Fix Plus when I do my Cupid's bow or my nose, mainly because I don't want them to be quite this intense. It just needs to be a little bit lighter. And for my nose, I don't want that intensity because I want it to just look a little bit more natural. I don't know, like maybe a month or two ago, I gained some weight, and the first place that weight goes to me is my cheeks, so my face is a little bit rounder, and in order to make my face appear a bit smaller, I started contouring my nose. I'm going to go in with a Morphe M330, and this shade right here from the Kat Von D palette, it's nice and cool toned, because what I'm trying to do is create some shadows. And I'm going to look down and just make sure that this is right next to where the highlight ends, and then bring it kind of up here into my brows. Okay, to clean up my crazy blush and make this nice and sharp, I go in with the Laura Mercier translucent powder, and I'm just going to use the exact same beauty sponge that I was using before, and I'm going to clean all of this up like so. This is going to make sure that all of this is nice and cut. We're going to get these cheekbones popping. We're going to make sure this looks nice and clean, and like I spent a lot more time getting that sharpness than I actually did. Okay, so while I'm looking super cute and this is doing its thing, I'm going to jump off camera, do my brows. I am back to using a pomade, and I'm doing them off camera because it just takes me way too long to do them. Alright guys, so brows are on. As you can see, I went a little bit crazy. I did do a little bit bigger and a little bit darker brows than normal. That's what happens when you use pomade. Sometimes you end up going a little bit too heavy, but I am still liking them. I did go ahead and use my dual fiber brush to blend off all of the baking that I was doing, and as you can see, it kind of toned down my highlight as well. I know before it was like super in your face. It's a little bit more toned down now, but it still has nice sparkles in the lights. So all I have to do now is set my face and then go in with mascaras. Now to set my face, I do use two different products. I know it's a little bit extra, but this is just what works for me and make sure that my makeup lasts all day long. The first thing I'm going to do is go with the Smashbox Primer Water. This is amazing. I use this under and over my foundation. And then I'm going to go in with the Gerard Cosmetics Slay All Day Setting Spray. This one is in the scent green tea, I believe. And it's way less harsh. That alcohol smell in this one is not anywhere near as bad as it was in the cucumber one that I was using before. So I'm going to go in with both of these products, and I'll be back. Alright guys, so that is it for today. I just showed you exactly what I do when I do my makeup. This is my full, mostly everyday face. I do not wear makeup every single day, but when I do, this is what I look like. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe, and I will see you soon. Bye!